About July of last year, I realized my leg was in pain when I wasn't really doing anything. I had sports seasons coming up, so I figured if by the time those sports seasons were done and it still hurt and it was still bothering me, that I would go get it checked out.
We thought it was just a sports-related injury, and Ava, being the trooper that she is, we agreed to let her play through the season as long as she was okay enough to do so.
So I played through field hockey, roller hockey, and went away to nationals for FFA.
And she came back from nationals and she said, I can't bend my leg. I made an appointment with an orthopedic doctor.
The orthopedic doctor who took the x-rays said, these are very alarming. It was right behind my knee and it was growing on the surface of the bone and actually started growing back into the bone. And that's when the orthopedic doctor referred us to Morristown Medical Center for orthopedic oncology.
No, she doesn't need an oncologist. What does she need an oncologist for?
We went into that day thinking it's just sports related. We'll get this cleared up in no time. She's going to be fine. And we walked out of that doctor's office that day saying, our daughter has cancer. In an instant, our whole world got turned upside down.
It was an osteosarcoma.
We didn't have time to process any of this. We were running on adrenaline.
There were times where we'd stay up at like 2, 3 in the morning just Googling, what does this mean? What does this mean? And just, just to have some sense of control.
Got the biopsy and diagnosis on November 8th and then met everyone here on November 15th.
We met with Dr. Lori, Anne Marie, Caitlin, who was the child life specialist, and there were at least 4 or 5 other people.
We welcome the child life therapists and the social workers and the education specialists to all the medical meetings so they know everything that's going on and they know what our next goal is.
You can't comprehend all that they're saying to you, so they actually slowed it down. They took a breath. Caitlin could see that Ava was getting upset, so she actually took her out of the room.
I wasn't hearing what they were saying at all. And I remember my child life specialist pulling me out of the room. She's like, you need a break, and she pulled me out of the room.
And that was really great because, we had questions that you almost don't want the answers to, but they have to be asked.
Coming out of that day, I knew that we were in the right place.
The treatment was really hard. Everything that could happen did happen.
I wound up through the ER twice.
We just woke up every day and just said, she's going to be okay. And I have to be strong for her. I can't let her see me be upset, because right now she needs somebody to be strong for her.
When she went for her surgery, it was very scary. She had already been through treatment and she managed treatment, but surgery was coming and that was going to take away her ability to walk. Her surgery did not go well. The first surgery, she aspirated on the table. And she was without oxygen for how long?
About 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes. And she was in the PICU. And she was intubated. And she was really not great.
She was on some pretty heavy drugs and she had just come out of surgery.
And they were concerned. And they were going to do a brain scan to make sure that her brain function was as it should be. Kristen walked in the room.
So I went in with a Devils jersey and hung it up over her bed. She's a huge Rangers fan. I don't know if she mentioned that. I'm a huge Devils fan. She responded to the point where they realized that she was okay.
Literally, she didn't have to have a brain scan because she woke up when she heard their voices.
But we got the reaction that we wanted, so that was, yeah.
I mean, that's literally the bond that was forged between her and Child Life.
The Valerie Center has been such an integral part of this treatment. Child Life is here. All my doctors are in the Valerie Center.
We're in the room for a certain period of time, and the nurse is in the room for a certain period of time. But it is all of the things that are going on when we're not in the room that are also critically important.
The team is wonderful. I think every person has something so special to add to each case and each child going through the times that they're going through.
The main goal at every meeting is how do we prioritize these patients' health and their well-being, and each of us brings something different.
There would be sometimes with this medicine that I wouldn't eat for a week or more. Chelsea, my dietitian, even when I was feeling nauseous and in pain, she would tell me what to eat, small, frequent meals is what she always said.
Overall, my role was really to help Ava nutritionally during her treatment, especially when the chemo-related side effects would pop up.
My educational liaison has helped me a lot with school.
We had to make sure that you had the virtual option because you were in the hospital for a lot of your treatment.
She helped me set up with my teachers so that I could work virtually on school and so that I could move on from my junior year with the rest of my class. Not being able to see a lot of my friends and not being able to play sports and not being able to be in school.
It was really hard for her, and we spent a lot of time, coping.
If I needed someone to talk to or vent to and didn't want to talk to my parents, I talked to Heather a lot, and I always looked forward to seeing her.
I was staying with her 24/7. It got to be too much, 24/7 with your mom and you're 16, 17 years old.
And helped facilitate the first kind of conversation between my mom and I on kind of how we were feeling about things.
Things with you and your mom and your dad seem so much less tense.
It's definitely getting better.
The social working team and Kristen and the child life team saved our relationship.
My favorite story was one day I'm here for the methotrexate medicine. With this medicine you have to get up and kind of move and walk around, and I didn't really want to.
Well, I knew she had to get up, and she loves kids. She's awesome with kids.
We start putting together a scavenger hunt for a younger patient.
Ava really took the lead with that, and she was able to really help me set it up for her.
And we watched the little girl complete the scavenger hunt, and it was just the most fulfilling and joyful thing ever. And Kristen is the person that made the biggest difference for me. I mean, she even influenced my career choice. I was dead set on being a commercial airlines pilot. Loved everything about it, and I still do, but I now know that child life is what I'm really meant to do.
She will make a perfect child life specialist one day.
September 15th, that was the last day of my treatment. And so this Friday will be 3 months into remission.
If it wasn't for all the people here, I don't know if we would have made it through.
We were treated from the very beginning, like we were family.
They said from the very start that we don't just treat her cancer. We treat her as an entire individual, but we also treat the family.
I will forever be grateful for her, and I will forever be grateful for the people at the Valerie Center.